Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome. We'll start our lesson 3. Today lesson will go through LO3 learning outcome 3, analyze internal external factors that affect the human resource management decision making, including employment legislation. My name is Anjum and is my email address. If you have any question, drop me email please. We'll start. So in previous lessons, first we'll recap what we learned. We discussed about HRM, what is meant by, we discussed recruitment selection, we learned about hard and soft, we discussed internal and external environment, internal within our organization, external outside. So today we'll discuss again in our learning outcome, and mostly our focus will be on the legislation, which will go through different legislation, performance and human resource role, organization objective in HR, and we done the case study of enterprise rent a car in the past, and that's all we learned during our previous lessons. Okay, we'll start. Okay, anyone please, always good to be a bit reflect what you know about employment legislation. Spend 2 minutes, just think about, yes, what sort of legislations you know and why we need to know. Just spend and rate yourself 1 to 10 please, how much you know then. Write down first and then think about how much you know. Okay, so hope so you think about some legislation and then we'll move to next now. Okay, today lesson inductive content, what we supposed to be learn. Implies a relationship with implies is very important. Good relationship always help to improve the quality in the organization. So relationship, so we can say relationship management. So we have to keep the relation. Why? Retention. So staff retention will be if we have a good relationship with the employees. If we don't have a good relationship with the employees, we can't really keep the staff longer in our organization. Whenever they get the opportunity, they will move around. They will move to other organizations. Staff retention is very important. Why? Why is important? That's we need to be look around, because it's help to reduce the cost. So think about every new staff when you recruit, it costs around £3,000. How? So how is cost 3,000? You have to advertise job, arrange interview, do selection, provide training, yes, and many people involved. So it's approximately it's cost £3,000 in all this process. So that's that's why we want to be. Other thing, goodwill of the company will be improved if we have a good relationship with employees. Okay, what other things can be? Productivity. Old employees give more productivity because they are aware of the processes and procedures. So they are well aware of processes and procedures. That's why we need to keep good relationship. Okay. Strategies. What is meant by strategy? What strategies we can use? Strategies mean action plan. Okay, what strategies? Think about to keep our employees happy, to keep them in the business, and we have to use some strategies, some action planning we have to do. Okay, what do you think? Okay, just think about, please. What do you think? Okay, so think about keep motivated staff. Okay, we need to be intrinsic and extrinsic reward. It means appreciation, salaries, packages. Yes, all these, we need to, which we discussed in the previous lessons as well. Okay, that will help, those we need to make strategy. Okay, teamwork. We need to that improve, implies the relationship. We discussed about last previous lesson, forming, norming, and storming. Yes, well-being team role as well. We discussed. Okay. Okay, we'll move to the next. So that's we have legislations. So why legislations? Okay, think about if we don't follow any rules, that is the crime. That's a criminal activity, and which we don't want to be happen. So rules, that is, if we don't follow it, that's a criminal activity. So that's why we have to follow the rules as a company. Okay, then we have some ethical and social responsibilities. What social responsibilities we have? Okay, we have to provide the jobs. We have to provide jobs to local community first. Yes, that's other issue. If we can't find in the local community, of course we can recruit wherever we think. So that's ethics. So ethics is moral principles we need to set. Like we treat people like to be treated. We discuss, like Tesco Asda in the previous. So we need to think about moral principle. So ethic, and if you're a member of CIPD, you have to follow the ethical code of conduct, how the business will be run. So these are the crucial things which we'll go through. Trade union, of course, you're aware of. You can, and the employees have the right to join the trade union. You can local union, collective or agreement can be discipline, grievances, redundancies, best practices. Okay, that's you maybe heard about employer of the year award, employer of the year. So many organizations, those have that. They represent, that's good to be joined with that organization. So why we prefer to join those organizations? They follow good legislation. They ethically correct. Okay. So we go through the legislation. Data protection, which was 1998, that been updated 2018 GDPR. Health and safety 1974, redundant dismissal, and various other legislation. So in the contract, some are the implied condition and express conditions. In all, we have to follow in contract as well. So we'll move next. Okay, first, we learn about according to what is the personnel and human resource management. According to the guest, one of the author, he mentioned the personnel management is a shorter unit. You're saying you're managing people, but human resource management don't look the short term, they look the long term perspective. So that's why the legislation. Psychological contract, compliance, and the commitment, that's why we need with the employees. Control systems, we need external control and self control. So personnel management is external control, you control, but human resource you develop with, they empower them and they manage themselves. So implies a relation, proprietary, collective, and low trust. But in human resource management, high trust, preferred structural system, bureaucratic, mechanistic, centralized, and formal, but organic. devolve flexible roles. Okay, that's we need for HR. In HR approach. Okay, so that's the key difference. Okay, second, then we need to be manage talent management. It implies you have to manage the talent, you carry on drilling and keeping the workers. And we discussed last, the previously training and development. Training is a short term, development is a long term. So we need to be look around always talent management, additional management process and opportunities they are made available in the people in the organization who consider to be talent. Okay, that is crucial in the organization success. Okay, recruitment can be if we want to recruit people, internal source that we transfer promotion, external source we can press advertisement, education institution, placement agencies, employment exchange, labor contract recruitment, factory gate. At factory gate we can recruit people. Okay, what is all this HR, human resource management? We discussed about recruitment and selection, job description in the previous selection process. We discussed employment legislation. So these are all legislation employment. Discrimination. We can't discriminate people on the basis of race, gender, religion, or union recognition, contract, health and safety, EU directive. Of course, we have still, follow some legislation of EU as well. Trade union, yes, employees have the right to trade union. Disciplinary grievances procedures, dismissal, agencies, code of ethics, ACAS, and tribunals. Yes, you can take the case to the employment tribunal if don't. And we discussed development is a long term. Yes, so organization reward system we need to be if we want good relationship with employees, training. And that's all is a human resource areas we need to be really good understanding. Okay, then we discuss about management. What is the human resource management? So first, what is the management? Management is a 10 organization goals in effective and efficient manner through planning organization. So you have to plan your staff, you have to organize them, you have to lead, you have to control. So that help because the human resource is a source of. According to the one great scholar, Peter Drucker, he's the guru of management. He discussed about, the management is a task, management is a discipline, management is also people. Every achievement of management is achievement of manager. So every failure is a failure of manager. So that's we need to. Okay, next, human resource management consists of attracting, developing, retaining human resource. Human resource is planning. So all this is a human resource. That's why we need to keep our relationship with employees. Human resource management helps managers to recruit, train, and develop and member of organization, like we discussed in the previous lesson as well. I'm not going. Okay, then we have a motivational theories, how we can motivate. Different motivational theory. We have a Taylor, F.W. Taylor, Frederick Walker Taylor. He said we can motivate people based on if we give them more money. Maslow said we need to be look around what need level they have. We need to be manage them. According to the Peter Drucker, people are motivated if we give them money, rewards system in our organization. According to the Mayo, he said teamwork is very important to keep relation and keep people motivated. McGregor said sometimes theory X, you have to control the people, you have to use autocratic style, and sometimes you have to use democratic to manage the team and keep the relationship. McClellan, he said about you need to look around risk versus outcome, what the risk implies taking, what outcome they will give, what versus success, and you can set the reward accordingly. Then Horsberg gave two-factor theory. He said some are the demotivator factors and some are the motivator factors. So hygiene factors are demotivated sometimes. So if you have to look around, convert them into motivator factors, that will help the organization to achieve our objective effectively. Okay, that is the crucial things which we need to do. Anybody any question? If you have, please, you can ask. Okay. What is the talent management? A major fundamental objective of HR function is the mobilization of the workforce. Organization can only function if they are able to assemble the teams and the people with the necessary skill, attitudes, and experience to meet their objective, retain effective performers. So that's why time to time dismiss people. Yes, we have to. So think about talent is the vehicle to move the organization to where it want to be. That is crucial. Over the next 2 decades, it will be the key corporate resource. Labor market change will mean the demand of the talent increase, supply decrease. A war of the talent will emerge. Yes, be organization looking. If you have a talent, you have a skill, you have a competencies, organization looking you and really want to recruit you. So that's the key thing. Okay, talent is the acquisition of the fundamental human resource activity to address the traditional directive. However, the knowledge management, talent management will help organization to achieve the competitive advantage. We can stay ahead then. Okay, TED, which is quite good to be watched. This please and read it. So you can copy and paste and look around. So I'll copy and paste and you can look around later on. Please do so. It's good to be read. So I can put it later on in your reading list. Okay, adding values, resource and the talent management is a help, add values, delivering business objective, providing excellent administration, champion in effective people management. Okay, next we're looking now legislation side. So first is three main areas: discrimination, anti-discrimination laws, but they usually cover the much more just employment. So law governing the trade union, their activity, their relationship with the employees, and laws are the welfare employees and relationship with their employers. Okay, lawful discrimination. We can't really discriminate based on sex, race, religion, ethnicity, disability, religion, sexual orientation, and age. Okay, then we have a major piece of legislation, Equal Act Pay 1970. We have a Sex Discrimination Act 1975 and 86. We can't discriminate race and religion relation. That's to keep the relationship with the different ethnic group. Disability, we can't discriminate on the basis of disability. We should provide the opportunity to disabled people as well. Employment equality. So these are laws being merged most of onto single legislation is called Equality and Diversity Act 2010, which is Equality Act. Equality Act, you can say 2010. If you want more in detail, you can go gov.uk. We can read as well. Yes, because sometimes it's so many sections and subsections. Anybody any question? If you have, please you can ask. Okay, next we looking, which we discussed. Next we have a legislation, major legislation, which we discussed. Then Equality Act 2010. So what are the characteristics protected by Act? Age, disability, gender identity, marriage, civil partners, maybe maternity. You're not going to recruit because the people she's someone is yes. So we may expected baby. So you need to be make sure you not discriminate. If you don't provide the opportunity someone on the basis of these legislation, we are not going to be follow the legislation. So we have to make sure we have follow these legislation. Morning.
Morning.
Okay, welcome. Let's we are doing we are discussing about employment legislation.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going through Equality Act at the moment, Equality Act 2010, which is all about different legislation being merged, and under the Equality Discrimination Act, equal pay. We can't discriminate on the basis of age, sex, gender, or ethnicity. Okay, then next we have trade union. Yes, anybody have a right to join the trade union. We can't, as an employer, we can't force them. You don't join it. So that's we need to be. An organization worker create the protect and advance. Yes, that's the interest. It is members of negotiating agreements. So that's they have a right according to ACS, which is the organization, and they issue the code of conduct, and all the union and most of the people are member. Okay, any question? If you have any question, please carry on asking. Okay, next we're looking now. Trade union is recognized by an employer then when it is negotiate agreement between employer on the pay and the other employment conditions. So you may be heard trade union can go on strike if employer don't meet there. So that's why it's crucial. And under the laws, employees have the right to join the trade union. An employer can't really. Okay, then labor relations is which is pre-1980 contract, collective bargaining, collective agreement, not legally enforceable. Many strike, often unofficial strike called against the wishes of the majority of the workers, while the acting and the secondary action management not allowed to be managed and restrictive practices and our mining. So that's all we need to be make sure we manage. We need to be make sure we manage the labor relationship. Okay, then trade union use actions to tort and breach the contract in the relationship trade dispute, to close shops, problem to the multiple union and differential and driven by the small number of activists. So we need to be look around. That's been changed. That was the pre-1980 Employment Act. Secondary actions made unlawful. Pickets could only be picked their own, the place of work. Union encouraged to be bail out their members before taking strike action. Okay, then we have an Employment Act, redefine the trade dispute as the dispute between the workers and their employers. That's, we have act, and employer need to be make sure to solve these according within the laws. Okay, then we have required the union to be hold the bailout before taking to the industrial action. Then thinking at the edge and the procedural changes, bailout, unlawful discrimination on the grounds of the members if I have, so labor can or the union can go against them. Okay, replace the previous legislation and bring all together. There are a lot of consolidated legislations which been brought, because a lot of old legislation is advisory, conciliation and arbitration services, ACAS, advisory, conciliation and arbitration services. So that's the code which we use, ACAS. Huh? So founded in 1896, present name is structured the date in 1974. The mission is preventing and resolving problem the workforce through the, of course, mediation and arbitration, the practices in place. Okay, then unfair dismissal we can't really dismiss without any particular reasoning to give to employees. If you do and if you're breaking the law, we have to follow all these legislation, all being merged into the Equality Act now. Okay, then we have the law. We have a law, Trade Union Reform Employment Relationship Act 1993. Give employee the right to join the union. Of course, we discuss, that we have. And the Equalities Employment Relation Act, equality of the treatment part-time workers and the full-time workers, and the you may be heard about gender pay gap is a huge issue. That shouldn't be treated as a gender pay gap. So it should be treated equally and should be paid the male, female, equal salary. What is the national minimum wage? £8.75 an hour. That's what we should pay to employees. Employment Act is 2002, paternity leave, maternity leave. That's a lot of being changed. We should provide the leaves, accordingly. Okay, then we have a ground for the fair dismissal, conduct, capability, redundancy, secretary requirement, and something else, which we can look around when it happens. Okay, public interest disclosure, PIDA, which is protect employees who make the disclosure about the malpractice to their managers bodies, and that act protect them if there's money laundering happen if the commission misleading or it's a bribery act, So all this is a fair dismissal, unfair dismissal, constructive dismissal, as the fundamental breach of the employer and implies contract employment, which is effectively indicate the employer no longer intend to bound it. Yes, the contract of employment is every implies the right to be get the employment contract. So employers should be clearly term and conditions should be written. There are the express term that's explicit in the contract, implied term that the court will regard always existing. So though they are not, even you don't state it, like Health and Safety Act, Data Protection Act, that's should be automatically laws, and that should be everyone should supposed to be followed. Pros and cons of self-employed. Yes, if you're a self-employed, of course, no holidays, that's all, and you'd have to look around your own taxes and things. So that's the key is the difference between implied and key implied. How to tell differences? Yes, the following factor affect you treat. Do you have a work for the several different organizations? Do you find your own work? Yes, you can answer these questions. Okay. Fairness in the recruitment and selection, we need to be make sure, we otherwise will be discrimination. We discuss directly discriminate, treating somebody less favorable, indirect, changing the shift pattern where the people don't do the religious practices, harassment, violating, or the victimization. These are all the kinds of discrimination. Okay, then unlawful discriminate, Health and Safety Act we have. Everyone and the worker should provide the safety shoes and safe environment, but it's everyone's responsibility as well. Thus, we need Data Protection Act. You have a right to get your data, whatever returning SAR subject access request that costs you £10. If any information held by employer, you have a right to ask, give me my file, like immigration file, like NHS file, health record, is called subject access request under the Data Protection Act. And now we have a new GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Act legislation. So guys, that's we have then maternity leave, family friendly laws. Yes, so falls under the number of headings: maternity right, adaptation right, parental leave. So all these, and the 52 weeks, statutory leave for 50 and up to 39 weeks. Yes. So that's, with pay and without pay, that's we need to be follow as. And all these legislation we have to embed in our employment. Yes. In the contract, fair and unfair dismissal, why we do and what basis. ACS code of practices, yes, consistent investigation, inform, put their case, accomplish if we have any. They are reconciliation and arbitration, the organization, they try to resolve the conflict between the employer. And then guys, I copied the link for you to do the quiz. Please make sure you do the quiz. This one that will also help you to develop your better understanding about. Okay, then we have a grievances laws, procedures, how we can, it should be addressed by company handbook, company personal manual, HR website, Transnet website. It should be all these, the procedures should be explained on our website. The employer, because otherwise, that can be created quite mess, in our organization and productivities, and the problem will be there. Okay, so that's, all we have. And you guys, you have to make sure read the Pote Cabin case study and read, and you can watch as well. Okay, so that's we have to do. Pote Cabin is, this is the case study. I can show you Pote Cabin, how we can increase adding value through health and safety, following the legislation, and that will help organization to increase its value. So that's all today lesson. And if you have any question, you can drop me email on my email address, anjum@ukversity.co.uk, and hope so I'll speak to you during our next lesson, in which we'll go through LO4. Thanks for listening. Thank you. Bye bye.